Hi everyone, my name is Jen.
I'm Kennedy.
I'm Amanda.
So welcome to week 4 of the Shine On character strength videos. So today you're going to be going through a little presentation called Not Everyone Wears the Orange Suit. So this is week 4 and this means that we are going to be talking about social intelligence today.
All right, so a little bit about what social intelligence is. It's when you are aware of other people. So when you're talking to somebody, you are aware of their feelings, what they are going through, all of those things into how you perceive them and how you're going to act. So an example of this might be, let's say you're out at the playground and you are playing soccer with your friends. You might see a person who's sitting on the sidelines and they're not playing with anybody. You, being socially intelligent, might realize they don't have anybody to play with. So you're going to go over to them and invite them to play with you. So that's just one example of how you can be socially intelligent.
So I know that in school you all probably do many group projects. So when you're working in a group, you are probably displaying social intelligence as well. So that means you have the ability to work well with others. You have the ability to realize that you need to include other people's ideas into your group project along with your own and compromise to find a common ground on what you all want to do within your group project.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about coding. So I want you guys to pause the video here for a second and just talk about it. If you know what coding is, talk to a partner, or if you're talking about it with your whole class. So what is coding? Have you heard of it before? And what do you think it might be? So now we're going to watch a brain pop video on what coding is now that you guys have talked about it.
Then visit brainpop.com for much more. Yeah. Have you been standing here all night? Uh-oh. Were you dividing by 0 again? Dear Tim and Moby, what is computer programming? Thanks, Amy. You picked a good time to ask. Moby zapped his operations chip and he can't seem to do anything. Right, buddy? Don't worry, I've got you covered. We'll just switch you over to voice command. There. Now I can program you until your replacement chip arrives. I know, your brain is no ordinary computer. But it does have some things in common with the ones people use. Computers can do all sorts of amazing things, from navigating the internet to piloting an airplane. But they can't do anything at all without a set of instructions. That's all a computer program is, a series of steps that a computer can follow. And somebody has to write those steps. Unlike you, computers can't really understand English. So programmers have to write their instructions in special languages. That's called coding, and the lines of instructions are known as code. There are literally hundreds of different languages. Thankfully, you don't need to know any of them to understand some programming basics. Just follow along as I code Moby. Okay, Moby, walk to the counter. All right, sorry about that. I have to remember that programs need to be really specific. They have to be step-by-step ordered instructions, an algorithm. That's why so many programming tools automatically number your lines of code. Let's try it. Moby, first lift your right foot, then move it ahead of your left foot, then put it down. Great. Let's call those 3 lines step right and save it as a function. That's like a mini program we can call on whenever we want. Now, let's make an identical step function for the left foot. Moby, step left, then step right. Now repeat lines 1 and 2 over and over. Repeating a section of code like this is called a loop, and it's something you can do in any programming language. Moby, stop, then walk back here, then stop. You've just been programmed. Lift your arms in triumph. Yeah, it is sort of like making a recipe.
All right, so we just finished watching that video on coding. And what we wanted you to get out of that video was just to see the specific set of instructions a person has to take in order to get a desired outcome. So if I go to the next slide right now. Oops. All right, so now we are going to watch Jen and Amanda do an example for us of how to describe and draw. So Amanda is going to be the coder, or the person giving the instructions, and Jen is going to be the computer, the person receiving the instructions and doing it. So what they're going to do is they have a sheet of paper and they also have a marker, and what they are going to do is Amanda's going to give her instructions, Jen's going to draw it, and we're going to see the outcome. So let me stop sharing.
Okay. Okay, draw a line from the middle to the bottom. Now draw a circle. No, draw a circle in the middle of the paper, connecting it to the straight line. Now draw a semicircle on the circle. On the outside of the circle. Repeat 5 times. Take your marker cap and put it on top. Put your marker down.
All right, so any guesses to what this drawing is? Go ahead and talk about it with your classmates. All right, so if you said flower, you are correct. So what we wanted you to get out of this once again is to see how Amanda gave the instructions, and sometimes, as you can see right on this little circle, sometimes the instructions didn't always go as great. So, but she fixed her mistake and she was very specific. So now we are back to our describe and draw. And so now, as Amanda and Jen just did, you are going to do the same thing. So first, we'd like you to grab a partner. If you do not have a partner, stay on with us and keep the video rolling, and we will be your partner. But if you do have a partner, you can pause the video after I am finished explaining what your task is, and you will be all set to go. So first, get a partner. Second, you're going to think of an object. So we thought of a flower. So think of an object you want to draw, describe it to your partner, and have your partner draw it. All right, so you can go ahead and pause the video now. And if you don't have a partner, stay on with us.
Okay, so for people who are at home or don't have a partner, take out your piece of paper and your pencil. And I want you to pick up your pencil and draw a big circle in the middle. Okay, now you are going to put a line down the middle halfway. Okay, from there, I want you to make a line going from the middle to the bottom left. And you're going to repeat this step on the bottom right. And now in the middle, complete your line. Okay, so when you're done, I want to know if you have a peace sign or not.
All right, so now for everyone, this is the point in the video that you should come back to. So once you have finished your describe and draw, come back to this point in the video. All right, so thank you guys for participating in that activity. So what I want you to now just talk about is what worked and what didn't work with this. Did you find it hard to describe something to your partner? Did your partner have a hard time understanding what you were saying? So talk about it a little bit and come back to the video in about a minute.
Okay,
Right.
So now we want to talk about why do you think we did this? So just take a second and think about it. Why did we talk about coding with social intelligence? So the reason we did it is because you saw when I was telling Jen the instructions, when I said, for example, like draw a circle, she put it over here. She didn't know that I meant to draw the middle of the flower. So I have to be really specific when I'm giving somebody instructions, when I'm coding, and when I'm talking to somebody in general. So if I'm describing my day to somebody and I had a really bad day, I'm going to tell them why I had a bad day. So today it was raining and I don't like when it rains. I like when it's sunny. Or something happened at school that I didn't like. I got a test back and I didn't like my grade on it. That's why I had a bad day. If I just said to my mom, it's like, Mom, I just had a really bad day today. And she's not going to know why. So it's always important that when you're talking to somebody that you are really specific and you have those good communication skills so people understand what you're saying.
Okay. So you are probably all wondering what space has anything to do with social intelligence, but it has a lot to do with social intelligence. So I want you all to stop and think. And with a partner or either on your own, I want you to discuss the following question. Who do you think is the most important person involved with going to space and why? So you can pause the video for a minute and just think about that question or discuss it with a neighbor. Okay, welcome back. So I bet most of you said that astronauts are the most important people when it comes to going to space. If you said astronauts, give a thumbs up to your class or a thumbs up if you're alone at home. Alrighty, I originally thought that it was astronauts too, but then I got to thinking that there are so many other people involved with astronauts going to space. It's not just the astronauts. There are engineers who work at NASA who are involved in making sure that the astronauts have a safe trip to space. There are people who are building the spaceship, who are making sure that they have enough food and enough water and that all their equipment is intact, or who monitor them when they're in space. We're not just in space alone. So we have to think about that. So also when the astronauts are in space, they really need to be socially intelligent. So they're in really close corners with each other. There's no just going to your room if you're annoyed at somebody or you're having a bad day. You need to be able to work through all your emotions and understand when one astronaut might be having a bad day and needs some time alone and just to give them that time. And you also have to be able to work together in really serious moments because you're in space. Like there's people helping you on the ground, but you need to be able to work through really difficult situations. Like we talked about working with group projects, work through really big situations while you're in space.
All right, and to kind of wrap up everything, we wanted to do a pulse check with you guys. So what this is you're going to close your eyes and just take a reflection moment. So close your eyes and we are going to say a series of 4 or 5 sentences. And you're just going to think to yourself, do I do this? And is this something I want to work towards? And other things like that. Just have a reflection moment. So we're going to begin. I look for ways to have a positive effect on others' lives.
Okay. I often think about what I can offer the world, taking into account what the world needs, as well as my personal strengths and interests.
I am able to work well in a team. And I take into account other people's feelings and ideas.
All right. So thank you guys for partake in week 4 and all of our activities for this week.
Thank you. Enjoy
Thank
week
you.
5.
Bye.
Bye.